Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Jackson, licensed professional counselor, and we are reviewing Ready to Love, Season 5, Episode 10. I believe this is, if I remember correctly, Episode 10. And this is the aftermath. True Colors is what they're calling this episode. And boy, oh boy, we're seeing a lot of colors. A lot of colors today. So it starts off, they left us in suspense. It's Naeem getting voted off, it's Cornelius getting voted off. Cornelius and Camille, Camille told Cornelius he wasn't ready to love. And then she, stated her intentions with feeling like they, their connection is great. And she wants to continue to move forward with, building that connection with each other. And she's like, we're going to come back to the reunion, say we're married and we got a baby on the way. And he's like, we're going to pace ourselves. And I was like, oh, Cornelius. He said his biggest regret was not allowing himself to connect with other people. So we'll see. I don't truly feel that Cornelius is going to be with Camille at the reunion. I just don't. I think he's found his way out by not being in the the show anymore, and he's going to be able to make his peace and part ways with Camille that way. That's just how I feel when I see happening. So then we see Phil and Shiloh. They have a little date, I guess, still at the retreat house. They're cooking together. And Shiloh's making another attempt. She did it at the pool last episode. She's trying to do it again, making another attempt to check in with Phil. Like, what's up? You said I was your number one connection. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. All I want is you. What's happening? So they played a game. She did, state her intention. Feels wishy-washy, kissed her when she made her intention, and she called him out on it. Good job. She called him out on it, and he still says he's trying to figure things out. So we'll see where this goes. I don't know. Phil is. It seems like there's some agenda. I don't know what it is. I don't have any evidence to say it. Well, I guess my evidence is just that all of a sudden, Sydney's here. So yes, he has a right to definitely pursue this connection, but it's just, I feel like potentially he's just more attracted to Sydney, and that's intriguing to him. And so he wants to pursue that, but we'll see. I'm still trying to figure Phil out. He is, he's a mystery, and he likes it like that. Because, Shiloh's saying, I want you to share more. I want you to be more transparent with me. And that's not something that he's really doing. So, I don't know. So Dante and Aisha, they have their little connection. They're sitting outside talking. They're flirting, and they're just securing their connection. He's letting her know where he stands. Like, it was me and Zadia, but now it's me and you, and that's where I want to, put my focus. Great. There, she got a little escalated, and he calmed her down. Like, we're not even going to go there. We're not going to go back to the dinner table with the brown girl squad. We're just going to stay focused on us. So, we'll see how this goes. This is kind of could be a potential great connection. Both of them don't want, any more children. Dante seems to be mature, from his past relationships. Aisha's very transparent. She's very intentional with her words. Like, she doesn't mix words. So, I don't know. This could be something. This could be like an actual potential relationship. I pause to say that just because a lot of the relationships I see come from Ready to Love don't really last that long. So we'll see. Mumeen and Frank had their date, in DC by the by where, you know, Martin Luther King did his famous speech. And, you know, Frank was very thoughtful. He gave her the golf ball with their date and on it. And, you know, he's also showing his intention, and he's very serious about his connection with her, but also was, you know, mindful enough to say that he's still, you know, connected with someone else. And Mumeen said, well, it's all about you right now. And, you know, that's because of the debacle with her and Walter. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I feel like Frank actually might be really in a place where he's torn. Like, genuinely, I think that he feels the relationship with Sydney is easy. It's, when I'm saying easy, I'm not saying that it's a diss. I'm actually saying like their connection, their flow is nice, it's natural. And at the same time, Mumeen has potentially like some more depth, and he's really interested in that as well. So that's he's kind of torn in that space. Dante and Zadia's date. This one was kind of, I had to watch this date like 3 times. I was like, say what? So Zadia, you know, he's doing a check-in. So how do you feel after retreat? Which, Dante, come on, just say it. So I understand why Zadia had, you know, she came with the heat, with the smile, like, really, this is what we're going to do? You're going to make me say it? But she said she felt uncovered and unprotected during the deliberation, as Aisha was talking about massage. And so later on in the date, we hear that, no, like, Dante was her number one. She was going to choose him. And so then hearing like the person that you were like most connected with was rubbing somebody down, that's I could understand why she was hurt. I could understand why she was caught off guard, and felt some type of way about that, and even felt ignored. I don't know if what was causing her to be distant from Dante. I would imagine it would be like just seeing him more connected with Aisha at the house. So it's like, what is this about? And interesting, and letting it play out. And maybe Dante was looking for her to show up, you know. So I feel like what really was happening is that Dante was making the connection with Aisha and seeing that this felt more real, or it was something he preferred over his connection with Zadia. And then plus the situation at the dinner that like kind of sealed the deal. But I understand why Zadia's feelings were hurt. What I don't understand is the explosion after. So she walks back, and I don't know. She was on the phone. I don't know who she called. My brain says she called Camille. I don't know that to be true. And Camille was like, go on back in there and tell him how. I don't know. But that's kind of where my mind went. And then she started to talk down to him, like standing up, talking down to him and touching his nose. And he was just like, well, you said your piece. And then she walked back down and said, and then she started putting Aisha down. This was what I didn't understand. You know, like saying her conversations with him were empty, or she talks about nothing, she's stupid. And I was just like, whoa, this isn't okay. You know, like I think Dante can choose Aisha, and it doesn't have to diminish Zadia, you know. And maybe for her, some insecurities, or you know, yes, it is a game, right? This is a show, but it doesn't have to be a competition where one is better than the other. It could just be that he's choosing her, and your person is somewhere else. It doesn't have to be like that. So that was unfortunate to see for Zadia, but it is like pretty on brand for what we've been seeing from her. through these last few episodes. So, yeah, a little sad. Walter and Sabrina had their cute little date. Everybody's taking her to like these Asian inspired dates because she's Korean. And so they solidified their connection. They're like, I'm feeling you. I'm so glad it's you. I'm so glad it's you. And that's nice. You know, I am a fan of Walter and Sabrina. I want them to connect. I want them to work out. And at the same time, I got to be real. Like, he wants children. So that's a thing. And then also, she's mentioned that he's been inconsistent with his communication with her. So that's something that I'm like, I'm wondering if he's really, truly interested in Sabrina. I don't know if this is gonna be something that's really long term for them. And I don't know if Walter is just not a great communicator. That just doesn't seem like that matches who he is. So I think that there's some questions that Walter still has in his mind about Sabrina. I don't necessarily think it's the exotic dancer thing. It could be, but I think that he's still trying to figure out some things, and that could be that, that he's just not pursuing her as intentionally or with intention, as to say, like, I want you and only you, but hey, let's continue this thing and see where it goes, kind of thing. And I don't know how long Sabrina's gonna be on that ride, so we'll see how that goes. This Sydney and Phil date was interesting. So they are going on a date. I think it's their second date, and Sydney's kind of saying the same thing that Shiloh says, like, hey, we're getting to know each other. I like Phil, you like Shiloh, but like, let me know something about you. Talk to me. Let me know something. And he does share with her, which is kind of like one of the first like personal things we learned about Phil, like right at the end of the season, is that his mother passed, and with her passing, I think he said 4 years ago, he really regretted that he wasn't able to give her grandchildren, and he still carries that. And so that was something to warm their connection and help him be more vulnerable with her. And he's great with the kisses and all of that, but Phil I don't know if he doesn't have the communication skills, or if he just doesn't feel comfortable communicating, or if it is a strategy that he doesn't communicate because he's trying to, play the field. I don't know. It just seems like he's making an intentional decision not to communicate for whatever reason. And it's putting Shiloh and Sydney in this place of like, still trying to, like, where do I sit with you? Where do I sit with you? And he's not putting down many breadcrumbs for them to figure it out. It's this big question mark for both of them. So the gentleman lounge happens, and the men state who they want. So Walter's like Sabrina. Dante, of course, is Aisha. Naeem chooses Zadia. Frank chose Mumeen and Sydney. Phil chooses Shiloh and Sydney. And then, all right, so who's on the chopping block? And Dante says, Zadia put her hands on me. And nephew Tommy is like, whoa, okay, Naeem, how do you feel about this? And Naeem was like, oh, I'm straight. That don't have nothing to do with me, because I'm not gonna make her feel that way. And I think sometimes that is the assumption we make, like, oh, no, this won't happen to me. They won't treat me this way. And pause. It's like, this is not about you and how you carry yourself. This is about them and how they carry themselves. And that's a part of Zadia. It's been consistent. She has been very aggressive in her communication with people through this program, through taping the show. And so that's going to show up in her interactions with anybody. It just is. Until she realizes that there's just other ways to communicate and learns that skill. So I think that's something that, Naeem's going to have to learn from himself, that it's not about him and his ability to maintain his calm. And that's going to help her maintain her calm. Like, she's got to be able to do that for herself. So Walter goes out with Mumeen and kind of clears the air. Mumeen I think she just misses the part where she really feels like Walter freezing up at the piano when she came in, when he was sitting there with Sabrina, like how that just was not okay. Like she misses that. And he feels like it was a setup. I feel like she was trying to make him choose. And he wasn't ready to do that. So he's like, don't put me in a situation where I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm allowing you to figure things out. Like, figure it out. Don't make me choose in the situation because you're coming in the same room with me while I'm connecting with someone else. So I think she's missing that. She's really missing that. And it seems like she's also not missing the walking away from the conversation, like seeing that as how that's not something you want to do while you're communicating with somebody that you care about. Like, you want to stay in it and find a resolution. Now you can say, hey, I need to walk away for a moment. I'm getting a little heated, and I just need to take a quick break. And I'm like, oh, okay, you want to revisit this, like, and talk. I think like that's the more, I don't want to say mature because I don't want to label her as immature, but it's just she's not at that place where she's able to do that for whatever reason. Phil meets with Zadia and tries to see how she feels about her behavior with her date with Dante. She said, she gave him a black mom talking to, and I'm like, already in that space, like, he's not your son or your child to do that. And then also saying, she knew that nobody else would be like co-signing her behavior because she knew it was not the best, the best way to handle it. And she wouldn't allow even Phil to dismiss her. She said the words to dismiss herself. And she came armed and ready. She said wore her bad outfit, which was fly. It was fly. And she was dismissed. And then Naeem self-eliminated, as he's like, hey, that's the only girl I was feeling, so why am I here? So we'll see how these things play out. I'm curious where Sydney will land. If she'll land with Phil or if she'll land with Frank, as we see some interesting things come up between him and Shiloh. So let's stay tuned. And then I will see you guys next week. Take care. Peace.